Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Noah.
And I'm Richard.
And today we're talking Superman.
Yes.
We're talking about the new James Gunn movie, Superman by James Gunn.
I had my most profound realization about the movie today while I was naked in the shower soaping myself.
Okay, and with that, we're Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches, and we go on rambling discussions about movies, TV, video games, and manga. As I'm trying to get that image out of my head, if you're interested in any of that, stick around and see if you like these rambling discussions.
It was just my arm.
Okay, now.
Yes.
Superman.
So here's the thing, and after we saw the movie, and
no, there's the thing behind you.
After
that was last week's video,
and that thought just went that way.
There we go.
So I realized this morning that this Superman movie it's a vignette.
Okay.
It's a day in the life of Superman, or a couple of days in the life of Superman. I'm not sure what
slice of life.
Yeah, it's a slice of life. That's all. This movie is a slice of life Superman story.
Okay.
And then I started asking myself. So there's a couple of things. Your theory keeps being confirmed. I think it's beyond theory now.
I don't think it's a theory anymore.
No. The way we watch movies has changed. At least the way we have watched superhero movies has changed. It is the responsibility of the audience to bring in knowledge to the movie, because the movies aren't going to give you everything that you need. All right, this movie didn't.
Yeah, I figured that.
Now,
I figured that.
I don't know if I said it on camera or off camera, but one of the things that I didn't want to see is another origin story. Mm-hmm. And yet, without having an origin story, then you have the responsibility to bring a lot of knowledge in. And as the comic book crowd that is the main audience for these movies, they demand authenticity. They demand stick with the source material, don't create things whole cloth. When you're creating a movie, I can't imagine the struggle of creating a movie and being loyal to them and not pissing them off, but then telling the story that you want to tell, or the story that you can tell.
It's very... Right. It seems to be the biggest balancing act in the world right now. Just because it's just so... It's kind of crazy, just overall, how you're going to take elements of established canon, but work them in a new way. Because you have to make something that's fresh and new. Because if you just rehash what's been done, people are going to get bored of it. But if you don't pull from the... If you do something completely new, completely out of left field, something that a brand new story,
right,
you have the chance that everyone's going to hate it.
Yes.
So is it better to play it safe and stick with what has worked in the past, or is it better to innovate and create? And then where's the line that you dance around? And
then I realized in watching this and thinking about this how really critical I have become on both sides of this one issue. I don't want the origin story, but I can't criticize too hard if you don't get enough of the origin story. Yeah. Right. And then as I was wrestling with those thoughts, that's when I realized, wait a minute, this is here's Superman's life right here, and they've reached in and they've shown this little window of his life right here. Mm-hmm. And I thought about that, and I said, that's actually not bad.
Okay.
So let me answer the question that you posed to me in the theater when we got out of the theater last night.
My question was, and you never answered it, my question was, did you at least enjoy it? That way I would have an idea of what I was getting into when we sat down to record today.
And the reason that you probably had that question is one of the things was I was very, very angry when the DC Universe dumped Henry Cavill as Superman. And the answer is, yes, I did enjoy it.
Okay.
I had made the observation in the car on the way to the theater last night. If this new Superman can make me forget Henry Cavill and not be thinking about his performance during the course of the movie, then this new Superman will have done a good job.
Okay.
And almost immediately.
Almost immediately?
Almost immediately.
Okay.
All right. Superman appears on screen, and I'm like, okay. Right. Now, this Superman wasn't anything spectacular. This Superman was better than serviceable. Yes. It was a very good entry into the Superman lore, and I will enjoy watching more of these.
Okay.
All right, and I will enjoy watching more of this particular actor.
Good job, David.
Well, that was a hard one to get past for me.
I believe it. He's got a really good Boy Scout Superman look.
Yes.
And I know that's what James Gunn... So, you know what was really cool about this movie? Is that I had this movie figured out from the trailers.
Really?
And I completely forgot that I had this movie figured out once the movie started rolling. Because I had seen elements of the movie in the trailer, and I went, okay, I have an idea of what's going to happen in this movie. I have an idea of what the plot's going to be like, blah, blah, blah.
Were you right?
I was generally right.
Okay.
I did not have the order of events correct.
Okay.
But I had the events correct.
Okay.
But I had completely forgotten about it, which is really kind of cool. That this movie made me forget my own predictions and then reminded me that I got it right.
Well, then you experienced something similar. This movie made me forget any complaints that I had.
Okay.
Okay. So look, there is something just incredibly powerful, brings you to the edge of your seat, and it's like fist pumping. Yeah, when. After seeing all of the destruction that Black Adam reigns in his movie, Superman comes floating down, very calmly says, "We need to talk."
Yeah.
All right, that is such a powerful scene. That is just an incredibly powerful, and I was just like, I want that. I want more of that. I want to, this movie made me just like, okay, that entry is over with and it's done, and we're not going to see that.
Okay.
And it just made me accept that the change has been made, and that's really good. All right, that's really good. And I know you didn't want to be, you didn't want to be like caught off guard here with me coming in and just like trashing or bashing the movie or hating it or anything like that. So I think that the most interesting thing in the movie for me had nothing to do with Superman, had nothing to do with Lois Lane, had nothing to do with any of that. The most interesting thing in the movie for me was a line spoken by the engineer who said, "I've sacrificed my own humanity to help get rid of it." And she said it while she was flying through the air. She was having a conversation with Lex Luthor. I could not find online the line that Lex said before then. This is a quote from her that actually made it into the quotes, from the movie. I find that character to be really interesting. Now, I don't know the comic book lore of the engineer.
I don't either.
I've done a little bit of a deep dive into it this morning just to try and get an understanding.
Yeah.
But here in this universe is a former Army Special Ops person who allowed Lex to replace her blood with nanotechnology that gives her all of these amazing abilities, right? And so when I saw her first time she flew and I realized she had a jetpack on, I thought to myself, okay, this isn't a metahuman. This is more like
it's more like an android.
It's more like a Falcon,
a cyborg. Yeah.
Right. The wing pack. Right.
Yeah.
But then I think that actually is something that she can just organically make because of the in the nanotechnology. So what would make a human being give up their humanity to acquire these powers?
Yeah.
And why would she essentially be owned by Lex Luthor and allow herself?
Yeah.
You know, that was the most interesting character and the most interesting moment. And if they're going to explore the engineer, because I read a little bit about the comic book lore.
Yeah.
If you're going to explore the engineer, let's find out why she would do that. That's a backstory I want to see. That's an origin story I want to see.
Okay.
So
let's get into some actual like spoilery territory. So we've been warned. We're going to talk about the actual plot now. If you haven't watched it, because I feel like this is going to get harder to discuss without getting into that.
Yeah, let's. We rarely do recaps. We usually just start talking.
Like one of the things I found so interesting that I think it's one I liked the movie overall. I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. But one of the things there's a lot of issues with this movie, pacing, development. It's a bit rushed, but overall it's fun.
It is rushed. I agree with you. It is.
So
rushed.
it's not awful. The thing that I'm questioning is, so Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, I thought was a pretty good Lex Luthor.
I did too.
It was like we have had so many runs in recent memory of comic book villains being villains, but not super villains.
Oh, you're a villain, all right. Just not a super one.
Right.
There's nothing super about them. There's nothing like over the top about them. This was ripped from the 70s Silver Age of comics. Maniacal Lex Luthor with just enough of a modern edge to take him seriously.
Yes.
This is a psychopath who is hell-bent on his goal.
Yep.
It's the perfect characterization because Lex Luthor is an egotistical maniac, and he knows he's an egotistical maniac who's incredibly smart, hates Superman, views him as the ultimate Nepo baby, sort of thing, despises Superman, but there's consistency in his character. The best versions of Lex Luthor, there's consistency in his character that he acknowledges that he's doing bad things. He just doesn't care because he despises Superman, and he acknowledges it, and it just makes him a fascinating case study. However, this movie had me questioning, did he just surround himself with a bunch of people of the same mindset because all his henchmen who were helping him at the control panels all seemed to want to kill Superman and did not care about the civilians around him just as much as Lex Luthor did. It's like, how do you find that many psychopaths who are all that level of genius, who give that few shits about humanity?
Ask the KKK. Ask the Nazi Party.
Fair.
Ask. I mean, fill in the blank with any dictatorship. Ask the people who supported Stalin. Ask, I mean, there's that is, unfortunately, that case study would probably not make an interesting movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
So
but there was funny because there was just one dude who was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't split the city in half, and everyone else is sitting there like, no, I think we should split the city in half. It's like, you're telling me there's only one person here who's second guessing, thinking maybe we took this a little far.
Hans, are we the baddies?
Well, you can never subtract the idea that Lex Luthor would bump one of them off.
Oh yeah, you can't because they proved that he would. And Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, I'm excited to see more of him. It's refreshing to get a really just evil Lex Luthor, evil for the sake of being evil.
He had me as Lex from the trailers. From the commercials.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw that little bit of Lex Luthor and I said, okay, this guy's good.
Okay.
Right. All right. So you know what a tough audience I am.
Yeah.
Right. He had me from the beginning.
All right.
So hang on, before we dive any further into him.
Yeah.
Because we did say we were going to give a slight recap.
I didn't say that. Right. I said we were getting into spoilers.
Well, no. We're talking about plot. Metahumans have been around for centuries. I found that was like the opening line of the movie. I found that to be, kind of interesting, and it just made me think about X-Men, right, and mutants. Superman just lost his first fight. Mm-hmm. He got his ass kicked, and we are following how he deals with that, and not only the fallout of that, but discovering who his nemesis is, who his enemy is behind all of this, and then taking a look at how he lives his life in his relationship with Lois Lane as they go forward, which is why I said this is a vignette. This is a little slice of life piece, and that I enjoyed for a variety of different reasons. Lex is smart enough to, spoiler territory, have cloned Superman, have hidden that clone as, what was it, Ultraman?
Which I knew immediately from when I heard them say Ultraman in the trailer. I went, that's the clone, and it's going to be Bizarro. That's the second thing. Well, he's going to become Bizarro, and I love Bizarro. So please, James Gunn, if this somehow makes it to you, please make Red Hood and the Outlaws. Please, for the love of God, I love Bizarro in the Red Hood and the Outlaws run. Please. I need this TV series.
I learned about Bizarro in the car ride on the way home last night. I got the whole backstory of Bizarro.
Yeah.
Which was always good because I didn't know anything about it.
Bizarro's great.
So we've got that, and then we've got this fact that Lex Luthor has been studying all of Superman's moves. He has come up with 2,500 attacks that he has memorized, right? And that he can command Ultraman to do at any given moment. That right there gives you the breadth of his intellect.
Yes.
And they're very successful for 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
He is also then, you see, he's an arms dealer who provides arms to both sides of the fight.
Yep.
Which lets you know that he has no morals and he has no values. And then, of course, he kidnaps Superdog, which sets up the John Wick motivation of the movie. Where's my dog? Except that John Wick will kill for his dog and Superman won't, right? Which, I don't know, I gotta tell you, truth be told,
well, and it's not
side
even his
with John
dog.
Wick in that argument.
It's not even his dog. That was I think that was the funniest part, was that wasn't even his dog.
So I don't know how much of that dog was CGI and how much of the dog was a real dog.
I think they had a dog that was very similar looking,
right,
that they did a lot of mocap on.
Okay.
And then CGI'd into frame.
I could actually believe that. I think that this CGI dog was one of the weak points of the movie.
Okay.
I do. It just was.
The CGI of it?
Yeah, because it didn't look...
It was very unnatural. It was moving very unnaturally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was a lot of... It was moving very too fast to be a real dog.
And it wasn't cute.
And it's normal. You didn't think it was cute?
I didn't think it was cute.
I thought it was a little cute.
I think...
I thought it constantly chasing Mr. Terrific's drones, and then that being the reason why he helps defeat Lex. That was cute.
That was cute.
That was cute.
And I should have seen that ending coming, and I didn't. Because I had forgot about the dog at that point. You're so wrapped up in it, which is exactly the way it was designed to do.
Oh yeah.
But it had been established as a thing, so you accepted it when it happened. It was very nice, but and now I'm having an absolute brain fart.
We're talking about crypto.
No, I know we're talking about crypto, but I'm thinking back to your childhood. The dog that used to tell the stories. It was a PBS series.
Wishbone.
Yeah.
Wishbone.
Yeah. Wishbone was cuter. Wishbone was more interaction. It was an actual dog, and
yeah.
I think I realize all the limitations of everything, but if you're going to do it, if you don't get it right, then it becomes a flaw. And in this case, I don't think they got it right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in the grand scheme of things, how big is that? Not that big, I guess.
What do you think of Lois Lane?
I like Lois Lane.
Okay.
All right, I like Lois Lane. I was asking myself, what kind of talent do you have to have as actors to pick up a relationship and portray it mid-relationship,
yeah.
and make it look real and natural? And these two did.
Yeah.
It was like they had been doing this for years, and you got a peek into one moment. That's talent.
Yeah.
That's good acting. And so I really enjoyed that. And physically, she had just enough resemblance to Margot Kidder. I
think that was intentional.
It was intentional. Yeah, I believe it is, because this whole thing had this element of homage to the early Superman movie. She had just enough of the physical resemblance to just make it very easy to accept her fondly. You know, for those of us who are around for that one, or at least have seen it. Although I think she was better, flat out, but I think the script was better. I think that the storyline was more interesting. And what they didn't do is they didn't do the whole will they, won't they get together thing.
No, because it was established that they were already together.
Exactly, right?
It was very,
Now, anybody who's been in a relationship for any length of time could see that the interview was a train wreck waiting to happen.
Yeah.
At the end of that interview, she says, I told you I'm not good at relationships. And he's like, what does that mean? And she's standing there quietly, and he walks out the door, but never once did I think they were going to break up.
Yeah, no.
Not once.
I just thought it was just a bump in the road for them. Like they were having something they needed to get through.
I was so grateful for that. That was such good writing.
Yeah.
It was such good writing.
There wasn't like this fake tension through the rest of the movie between them, where you felt like they won't they, are they going to break up? No, you never thought that. No, you did not think that watching this movie.
Right, and so
they were not going to break up. They were just having a couple's fight. Just a fight.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I don't even think it was a fight.
I don't think it was a fight,
No.
More of a spat.
It was a rough spot, right? Yeah. So, she's admitting her weaknesses. Mm-hmm. She says,
in an attempt to get him to admit his.
Well, I think it was a combination of different reasons, because what was the great? She questions everything. She has massive trust issues.
Yep. Which is a great Lois quality. Like that's the thing about she's a reporter.
Makes her a good reporter.
Makes her a good reporter, right. and that's what makes her a good character. Like one of the big things about. So this also gave me very there's an animation called My Adventures with Superman.
Okay. And
it's on HBO, and it is a true slice of life Superman, and it's actually Jack Quaid, Huey from The Boys, the main character. Yeah. He voices Superman in it, and it's it's not quite anime. It's done by a Korean studio, but it resembles, to put it in context for you, and it is a slice of life Superman and Lois Lane, just adventure rom-com series.
Okay.
And it's cute, it's fun, it's got good development. One of the big things was that people saw one clip of her in that show jumping off the roof, which thank God they didn't do that in this movie. I swear, if I had to watch Lois Lane jump off another roof to get Superman to prove that he loves her, I would have to scream. I hate that. It's like the pearls. It's Uncle Ben. It's the tropes. Thank you, James Gunn, for not doing that. But that cartoon got flack for its version of Lois because people just saw her jump off the roof to get Clark to prove to her that he's Superman. It's the classic thing, except that Lois had a lot of flaws and a lot of issues and wasn't a Mary Sue, and that relationship was built naturally. And I think they had that exact same, happening in this movie, where Lois felt real, she felt flawed,
right,
and she didn't feel like she was overwhelming Superman in any unfair way. She was doing her job.
Yes, she was.
And she's good at her job.
Very good at her job.
And she took it too far
No, she did not.
in pushing Clark's buttons.
I don't think she did.
Well, after the interview.
Oh, okay, maybe after the interview.
I'm saying after the interview. So it was balanced is where I'm getting at.
Okay.
It was balanced.
Well, so
Izu.
I agree with you. Hey, studio dog, if he jumps up, you'll see a gorgeous dog here. He trusts everything where she doesn't. He trusts everyone where she doesn't. But doesn't that make the perfect average normal couple?
Yeah.
When you balance out your partner, they have qualities that you don't have. You have qualities that they don't have, and you somehow make it work. And so they were very, dare I say, average.
Yeah.
When it came to that.
Yeah.
This relationship was so real.
Yeah.
That I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the lack of the tension. Well, they won't.
Yeah.
Right.
It was so nice to just see a good, solid superhero relationship.
Now,
just for once.
My last note on the relationship, when they ultimately, have the conversation in his apartment, and I love the fact that he lives in a skyscraper and he just floats into the open window.
It's
and it was so casual.
I love that none of his neighbors seem to know. That's always the funniest part of when a superhero does something like that. It's like he's been doing this for months, and none of his neighbors have noticed that Superman flies into their neighbor's apartment every night.
Yeah,
bullshit.
So they're having a conversation, and then there's the battle with the space whip in the background. Now, I will tell you, and this is an example of one of my kind of overall disappointments in the movie, and I don't know if this is me or if it just wasn't done well. But hey, here he is. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Oh, there's an ear. Get it. Get the ear. There you go. Dig deeper. There's some earwax in there. I could use the assist. I know that whole thing was played for humor.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me. It just didn't work. And I'm watching the whole thing and I'm thinking, this could be so much funnier, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think that there were a whole bunch of moments like that in this movie, because I don't know if you noticed, but I really didn't laugh out loud until near the end of the movie. But I sat there watching things going, oh, this is supposed to be funny. Oh, this is, I'm listening to the movie, the crowd laugh. I'm listening to you laugh. And
I mean, there was a lot of them that I was just laughing at how kind of not funny it was.
Okay. All right.
But there was a lot of humor that hit, and there was a lot of humor that missed. I think that whole scene wasn't as funny as it could have been.
It was a great concept.
It was a great concept, yeah. It was also really nice. So James Gunn, he loves doing ensemble movies.
Okay.
I wish he would stop. Because as much as I loved the Justice Gang in this,
right?
Stop introducing 5 characters per movie, man. Like, come on. Like, I get it. You want to establish that superheroes are normal in this universe. This isn't an origin. This isn't an MCU reboot. This is a world where these things are established.
Yes.
These characters exist. And I loved Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
Okay, that was the Green Lantern?
The Green Lantern. His name is Guy Gardner, and he is notorious for being just the worst Green Lantern. He is in the comics, he always has that bowl cut, and he is always a dick. That is his character completely. And Nathan Fillion nailed it. I loved that character. I want to see more of that character. I wish we had a different movie.
And I think.
And it also made a Green Lantern believable, because the last time they tried Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds, it was awful.
So he is a human that was tapped and given these powers.
So Green Lanterns are. It is a core.
Right.
There are lantern cores.
Yes.
There's one for pretty much every emotion.
Right.
Or something. Green is willpower, yellow is fear, red is anger, etc., etc. Right. The Green Lantern Corps picks people of great willpower, gives them rings, and it allows them to create constructs based on their imagination. They are given a section of space to guard. That is it.
They picked the crankiest.
Yes, they did.
The most jaded. His disinterest in helping humanity is his contempt. Actually, is what it is.
It's
right?
Hilarious.
It is.
I
it's
love
hysterical.
it. He's hilarious. Right? Now, here's what I can't wait for, because you can't not do this.
Right.
James Gunn. All right. When that character proves why he's a Green Lantern with his raw willpower, if that character goes up against an insurmountable threat and dies giving the middle finger to a big bad because he just refuses to fucking quit, is going to be a fantastic cinematic moment.
If they do it right.
If they do it right. If he isn't crying, if he's just pissed the hell off saying, you don't get to, I go out on my own terms.
Right.
Proving why he's a Green Lantern just by pure stubborn pig-headedness willpower. That's going to be a great scene. I can't wait to see it. That's going to be fantastic.
So the green middle fingers
were great.
They were great.
It was
one of the two absolute made me laugh out loud moments.
And I saw him in the trailer, and I was like, okay, that's funny, but then I was like, okay, this is even funnier in the movie.
I never saw him in the trailer. I
saw him in the trailer, and I was like, okay, they got Guy Gardner. This is great.
So that was truly, because it was so, I could tell from the limited screen time that he had that it was in keeping with his character.
Yes.
But what made it funny is it was so casual.
Yes.
He's busy doing other things, but he thought to send the signal.
I love seeing competent superheroes I love seeing superheroes in their element, just casually taking care of business.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love seeing superheroes that are good at what they do. It is so boring to see superheroes struggle repeatedly. Show me, my favorite parts in many movies are superheroes or characters in their element doing what they do. It's why John Wick is so good.
Okay.
Because John Wick is just unstoppable.
But
it's so much fun.
We're gonna go 95% on that one, but I'm gonna take a slightly different point of view on that.
Obviously, you have to have a struggle, or you don't have a movie. It's just really refreshing for me to see characters just casually stroll through a battlefield.
Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, I'm gonna go swerve and then right back. Mr. Terrific was the most interesting.
I think he's the standout character for a lot of people.
He is. He made this movie. He really did. He kind of stole the movie.
Oh, he completely stole the movie.
Okay, all right.
He completely stole the movie. Every scene he's in, that actor was having the time of his life.
Yeah. Edie, I saw his name earlier. Oh my goodness, they didn't put it in the main cast. What?
No, you can't do that. Hold on.
Oh, no. Yeah, you pull that up because this guy deserves by name credit for this performance. I pulled this off of IMDb and it wasn't, he wasn't listed.
Edie Gathegi?
Edie Gathegi, yeah.
Kenyan American. Yeah, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
Yeah, we always mispronounce. Anyways, dude, you stole the movie. You did. You really did. So
I loved his outfit too. I loved the I loved
the mask.
Oh yeah, the mask being practical.
Yeah,
the whole so nice to see, just like an actual stick-on.
Well, and then the camp fight sequence.
Yes,
was so good, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. You know, because he was almost casual about it.
Yeah,
so confident, and he's like walking through and going. Here's the thing I like the most about his character: so deeply involved. But all too often you get these supporting characters and they ultimately get defeated and the main character has to save them.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
He never got defeated.
Nope.
He
just either
cruised
he wasn't
his way
able
through
to do it, or he needed the character's help, or he was doing other stuff. You know, it's just it's nice to see it. It was balanced.
It was.
All the characters were balanced. And Superman didn't have to come save anyone.
Exactly.
Superman had his own struggle because I mean, let's be real. If Ultraman had been stuck on any of the other three, they either would have gotten their ass kicked or they would have been having a hard time.
They would have been having a hard time. I don't know that. I think the three of them would
If
have
the three of them
checkmated
Yeah.
Ultraman. I don't think they would have defeated Ultraman.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think they could have.
So, yeah, Mr. Terrific
Was
the
fantastic.
highlight of the movie. Okay.
I want to see more of him. I can't wait to see more of him. That's going to be great. You took a character that 90% of the audience had never heard of.
I'd never heard of him before.
And made him fantastic.
Right. If he had a standalone movie,
I'd watch it.
I would watch it.
In a heartbeat.
And
plus, that actor is just so much fun to watch.
He's good. And I
so good.
Don't know that I've ever seen him before.
You've seen him in X-Men First Class, and I say that because they did him dirty in X-Men First Class. He played a character called Darwin, and his power was to evolve, adapt to anything. His body would just naturally adapt to things to keep him alive.
Okay.
In the comics, it's a really cool character. Darwin's a really cool character. He gets powers based on what
the situation
he's in that allows him to survive, which was really funny when Hulk showed up after being off planet for several years and was ready to kill everyone.
Okay.
And when Hulk showed up to fight the X-Men...
Did he become a Hulk?
Darwin... No, he teleported away. The funniest panel, because he doesn't control what he gets. He just has to adapt to whatever his body gives him.
Oh,
he doesn't control it. So, in the movie, he stuck his head in a fish tank and he grew gills.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Yeah. So in the comic, when World War Hulk shows up, he teleports out of his body. Just teleports him out of there, and everyone else is like, "Oh no, oh no." So funny. Anyway, he played that character in X-Men First Class.
Okay.
And they killed him off. It's like the guy and that's why that actor was very reluctant to come back, because it was the black guy getting killed off first trope. It happened. Gotcha. He was the first guy to get killed off, and he was very hesitant to come back. But James Gunn was like, no. I have plans for you. Here's your character. And apparently he loved it.
Okay.
So he came to do it.
Well, if I had seen that script, you could see that they were legit on that. It truly. So it was. I think the Hawk girl might have been the weakest of the three.
I feel like she just got the least amount of screen time.
Yep.
I feel like she could be fun if you gave her more to do.
Yeah, the screeching like a hawk was a little bit much.
Going to be interested to see what lore they take, because Hawk Girl is very, very interesting in DC Comics lore. So we'll see what happens.
Although somebody who can fly like she does and swing a mace is,
very standard.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that. I think they did Hawkman in Black Adam.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not canon anymore.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll just see how it goes.
Well, so
I liked the suits in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that was a nice. It was very nice to see some layers to some of the suits.
Yep. To all of them, even Superman's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I don't care one way or the other about the red trunks. A lot of people are getting sick of the red trunks on Superman. I really don't care.
I think it's
very comic booky. It fits with the theme of the movie.
Yeah, it's
a very
people who wear their underwear on the outside of their pants get their ass kicked in school, and that's just not Superman. And let's face it looks like he's wearing his underwear on the outside of his body.
Yeah,
it just does. But it's God, on the grand scheme, I didn't even think about that watching him.
Exactly,
I really didn't. No.
Oh, here's the next good question. Ma and Pa Kent.
Well,
thoughts?
I had a great line about Pa Kent in the theater, and I couldn't get it written down fast enough, and now I can't remember it.
This was out of all the Ma and Pa Kent, I 100% believed these two were from Kansas. This is the first time that I saw Ma and Pa Kent and believed these people are from Smallville, Kansas.
When I first saw Pa Kent in one of the trailers, I thought they've captured a Kansas farmer.
Yes.
That is what I thought.
I literally thought if I walk 2 hours that way into the freaking corn, I will find this man.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. And they captured that. And the
farm looked legit too.
It was Wilford Brimley come back. Yeah. complete with his diabetic kit. That was a. Anyway, I didn't mean that as a cheap shot. I really didn't. The performance was fine. So I was thinking at first that they were doing Ma Kent dirty because the whole conversation that she had on the cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Right. She's got the phone down. She's leaning over the table and she's talking into the phone like she's incompetent and doesn't know how to use a cell phone, right? As opposed to sitting there and talking.
Yeah, or even just like that.
But I thought to myself, they truly missed a great opportunity. Because I wanted to see that be a video call where she's leaning over. And so that from the other side, all you see is a big nose in the middle of it. That's great.
That would have been
funny. And that would have been slightly more keeping with what they were showing, the unintentional not being able to completely control technology.
Yeah.
But they were decent. They were very real people. They were very genuine people. And I guess maybe it's hard to have a Superman movie without visiting the Kents. You know, the idea that he's got to go back to his roots to kind of just reestablish himself.
I think because whenever you're doing a Superman movie where the problem is that Superman he's like Captain America. How often did we get a Captain America movie or where Captain America's arc was fundamentally confronting an issue, something that he did wrong? Captain America and Superman are like archetype characters where morally they kind of can't be wrong. They are too pure of heart to truly be incorrect.
Okay.
So they, even if they do something like he goes and he stops a war against he takes the power into his own hands and goes and stops a war. Superman does that in this movie, right? He's doing it for the right reasons. It's kind of Superman's character. It's very hard to show Superman do something wrong because he is an archetype. He is the goody two-shoes Boy Scout. So you've got to challenge that aspect. It's very hard to challenge that as a writer without breaking the character.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I don't like Batman, because Batman's the perfect character to let him be wrong. It's just writers are too afraid to let him be wrong, which is why the movies are typically better than the comic books, in my opinion. But when you have a character like Superman or Captain America, and they always kind of have to be the moral center, you just have to challenge that core belief by reshaping their reality, which is what they did in this movie by changing the message of his birth parents.
So I left the movie.
I have a hard time believing that wasn't doctored. I have a very hard time believing that Lex Luthor didn't just change that. It'd be very easy for a man of his intellect to sneak it past the world's best of anything.
Yes. Or the engineer.
Or the engineer.
I assumed that the engineer rewrote it at a level that it couldn't be detected.
Yeah, that's what I assumed too.
Now, the interesting thing that were Superman's parents
in some
the best people.
In some continuities, they're not. In most continuities, they are. In most continuities, the difference between Superman's birth parents and his adopted parents is these two are dead. Maybe one of these is dead.
Okay.
That's pretty much the only difference in most lore. They're typically very kind and caring and they want the best for him.
So that was ambiguous, but then it did present the question, if his birth parents really wanted him to go to Earth and subdue it, and get a harem and repopulate.
That was the stupidest line that.
Yeah, it was. It was weak.
Okay,
it was really weak.
It was funny when Lex said it because it is something Lex would say. It is something that Lex, in his egotistical insanity, would say. It was funny when Lex said it.
Okay.
It was kind of funny when Guy said it. I say kind of.
Right.
if they had given it more room to
Right.
breathe before then, it would have been funny. The more it got repeated, the worse it got.
I think that some of these lines lacked subtlety in their delivery.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the rushed nature of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that
They were trying to do a lot in a limited time span.
they didn't have the element of. It wasn't a textured delivery. Let me put it that way. I'm trying to figure out the right way of saying it, which I think defines the entire movie. I think the pacing of the movie, it didn't allow for that, and I would actually.
There's not a lot of subtlety in this movie.
Okay, so. You don't hear me say this very often, but I would have traded another hour of the movie for some more complex, subtle deliveries.
Okay.
If this movie had been 3 hours long, it would not have been a problem for me if they had done a slightly more deep dive into the characters, like the line from the engineer that I quoted earlier.
Okay. Yeah.
I would really like to have seen some more of that.
Okay.
Okay, so they didn't. Does it make it a bad movie? No. It's serviceable.
Yeah.
This did not detract in any way from the body of work covering Superman.
Yeah.
I would never look at this and say this is the weakest. I still think that's Superman 3 with Christopher Reeve.
Or 4.
Oh God, I completely. Okay.
The one where he throws all the nukes into the sun.
Yeah, 4. So bad that I've completely erased it from my memory.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's good. There's a couple other things. I really enjoyed the fact that Superman couldn't just stand there. It's one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of Superman, and I never have been. I realized that today. I'm just not a Superman fan. I never have been.
Superman is a very hard. If you like I said, if you're really into deep writing, like good, like super in-depth character development, Superman's not the character for you.
No.
Superman is supposed to be a beacon of hope,
right,
and a positive image,
right.
You know, truth, justice, American way, and all that. That is what Superman is. He's an archetype.
Well, that's why
he's an archetype. He is a pillar.
So he struggled through these battles. He had to,
which was fun.
Which was fun to see.
Yeah.
He didn't just easily. He didn't. And I guess this is the image from my childhood, and this has a lot to do with the old television show.
Yeah.
Bad guy pulls out a gun, shoots. Superman bullets bounce off. Superman grabs the bad guy. Puts him down. George Reeve was the original. Superman on TV, something like that. So he wasn't that. He struggled. He had to figure out how to defeat the people. The whole battle against the nanites taking over his body, and so you can't see you don't know what's going on in his mind. All you can see is what he does. And he shoots off and he goes out into, space, and then starts that plummet back down.
I thought he was trying to freeze him.
And I thought he was
trying to burn up on re-entry too. That was the other thing.
Well, yeah, why didn't they? That's a good question.
That's a good question. Why didn't they burn up on re-entry?
Why didn't they burn up? Well, maybe they didn't get quite far enough for that.
Maybe they didn't, yeah.
Because gravity still had a pretty good hold on them. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
But the engineer makes the comment, and this is really telling about her relationship with Lex Luthor, which is why I would really love to see more of this. She says, "I'm not going to survive the impact."
Or I'm not going to make it.
Right.
I'm not going to retain control through the impact, Because she did survive. They
she
did say
but,
she
but,
survived.
But she didn't. But I think she said, "I'm not going to survive the impact."
I don't remember if she said I'm not going to survive it or I'm not going to. I think she said I'm not going to be able to hold on through the impact.
Yeah, maybe.
It was, basically she wasn't going to be able to keep him down.
And Luthor showed, and this is the psychopathic side of his personality, that she's expendable.
Yeah.
And that's what makes that line, "I gave up my humanity," so much more impactful.
Yeah, because he doesn't view her as a human. I mean, he doesn't view anyone as
He's got no input into, and so anyways, Superman goes up and he figures out this way of doing it, and it works. And then you see him pulling everything out of his lungs and everything. I thought that was very well done, but it didn't give you the feeling of triumph. No. And I think sometimes when these movies, they give you that you ride that feeling of triumph along with the character, and it just makes me think that the character didn't have that feeling of triumph. The character, Superman, had the feeling of I survived.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was really
it was really neat.
It was really neat because
I like that.
Like eventually when we get like more team up movies and we get Superman stronger.
Right.
Eventually we're gonna have to, because Superman is one of the most powerful beings in DC, we're still gonna need some people who can put him in his place as we get bigger and bigger bad guys.
Right.
But it's gonna be fun when he shows up and he does the, oh yeah, I'm invincible. He had that moment when the no names, I think they called them Raptors, the flying suits came up, and they're like, "Put him down, kill him now," and he's like, "You can try." They gave him that flex. They gave him that moment to flex, and it was really cool. And I liked how creative they were with what Superman could do.
I liked the
spinning, the corkscrew.
The corkscrew was great.
The suplexes.
Yes. The bodies dropping out of the sky with the burn marks.
For all the... And that's one thing that I'll say it, Zack Snyder was not very imaginative when he had Henry Cavill fighting people. It was punch and laser beam, and punch and laser beam. And it was fly fast and punch. So you got this sense of speed and impact. But here you're kind of getting... You're getting creative use of Superman.
You got a lot of creativity.
He's not just punching hard.
Right.
He's cannonballing a monster. He's trying to knock out a monster. He's lifting things. He's throwing stuff.
He did a lot of different things.
He's doing a lot of, and it was very creative and fun to see.
The robot, when Superman goes into his ice cave.
Fortress of Solitude.
Whatever. I didn't know those robot things existed. I had never seen that before. I don't know if that's canon or comic book.
It's a comic book thing.
So I don't know. It's like, this is okay, I guess. Maybe he's got them. Where did they come from? Who made them? Didn't get those answers.
It's very, like I said, this is a very, very comic book movie.
Okay.
This is basically a comic book put on the screen.
So they've got these things, and I just said, okay, I accept them. There's something going on, I don't know, but the whole movie, as the slice of life as it is, I accept them.
Yeah.
The whole death scene with that one robot was so stupid.
Yeah.
You've got these creatures
It's a robot.
Say, fix it.
Yeah.
He was trying to
fix it.
But the robot deciding to call itself Gary, that was funny.
That was funny. Alan Tudyk is great, and he makes everything good. He's also going to play a different character in the DCU as well.
Okay.
Because James Gunn has this plan.
Okay.
He has a massive plan.
I believe it.
He wants TV shows. We're getting a Green Lantern TV show on HBO with Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner as one of them. We're getting we already got a animated show. So there was Peacemaker, which he did. So James Gunn did the second Suicide Squad movie, which was half a sequel, half not a sequel.
Right.
And he introduced the character Peacekeeper.
Okay.
Who's played by John Cena. And then that character was really popular, so he gave him his own TV show.
Was that the character that was in the movie?
That was the character that showed up on the talk show in the helmet, The show's doing really well, but it was made prior to the reboot of the DC universe, so it's weird how canonically he's trying to justify everything. It's weird because in the first season of the TV show, the old Justice League showed up with Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller and all that. So he's playing this weird balancing act, right, of his stuff being canon, the old stuff not being canon. But one of the things that he did, he made this series called Creature Commandos, and it's a cartoon that's a pseudo follow-up to Suicide Squad, where Amanda Waller isn't allowed to use metahumans anymore, but she can use monsters instead. And Rick Flag Sr. is in charge of the Creature Commandos.
Okay.
And he's in the cartoon, he's played by Frank Grillo, who shows up as Rick Flag
Right.
in Superman.
Right. Okay.
So
I heard you. I heard you when he showed up on screen. So I knew there was something behind it.
And then Alan Tudyk played a character called Dr. Phosphorus in Creature Commandos.
Okay.
Who's basically he's a skeleton with this green flaming aura that's made of radiation.
Gotcha.
And it's James Gunn. He has a bit of an edge to him. He likes to make gory, funny stuff. So he has Dr. Phosphorus. A tank is approaching him in the cartoon. He walks through a tank, melting it with 2 middle fingers, and then the 2 drivers get melted through.
Gotcha.
So Alan Tudyk will be coming back again.
Gotcha. All right.
And so his plan is to pull a Dave Filoni Star Wars, and anyone he casts as a voice actor needs to be able to play them in live action.
Okay.
So I expect to see a lot more of Alan Tudyk.
That won't be disappointing.
It won't be, because Alan Tudyk is always a joy to watch.
He is, yeah, extraordinarily talented.
Extraordinarily fun.
What was that?
She loves him as Hey Hey.
Hey Hey?
You haven't watched Moana, have you? He plays a chicken.
Oh, I've seen him talk about playing a chicken.
Yeah, it's funny.
No, I've never seen it. So the kaiju battle was kind of like, the whole thing. The saving the squirrel was almost annoying. It was so over the top, Boy Scout, Eagle Scout. I'm going to save the squirrel, and I wanted to see the squirrel bite him on the finger. That's what I wanted to see Superman going, ow, But no squirrel in their right mind would have stuck around for that. They run at the drop of a hat. So that whole thing was like the monkey bots. I see the humor. It didn't work for me.
The monkey bots, I was like,
you laughed at that. But
I was laughing at how stupid it was, because I had seen stuff about it. It was stupid. The farming rage online, totally something Lex would do. Why the hell do you have monkeys doing it? Why? Just so that you can be even more cartoonish? All right, fine. Whatever.
Yeah, all right.
All right. The whole prison, it was all believable.
Well, the only problem with the prison was the whole getting out of the prison thing was so painfully predictable.
Yes.
But I suppose you have to wait to bring that character to the battle to be a good guy helping the fight. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
The Element Man was kind of cool.
The Hulk treatment that the dog gave Lex at the end of the movie. Yeah, it was fun. The only problem with it, Lex should have had a broken back, a broken neck, a concussion, because that was a vicious beatdown, and instead he's got some cuts. I appreciate the cuts and everything, but I was just like, you can't give Lex superhuman abilities to survive a beatdown like that. His strength is his brain.
Lex can't get... He does it occasionally in the comics. Occasionally, or in some of the art cartoon movies, he does. But the best thing about Lex as a villain is that he has standards that he holds himself to. Mm-hmm. He will never give himself powers to fight Superman. Okay. Typically. There was one movie where he did take Superman's powers, and then he saw the world as Superman saw it, and then got even more mad at Superman. He's just like, how do you could do so much, and you don't do it, and it's just like, yeah, but I'm here to help, not
conquer.
Rule, not conquer. And that's the difference. The thing that makes a good Lex Luthor. If Nicholas Hoult's Lex Luthor had Superman's powers, he would conquer the Earth.
Yes.
Superman doesn't.
Yes.
That's a good Lex Luthor. Yeah. That is a good Lex Luthor. I believe 100% that this Lex Luthor but I also believe that this Lex Luthor would not give himself Superman's powers. I believe wholeheartedly that this Lex Luthor on principle would not give himself powers because he realizes how much of a hypocrite that would make him. And that he wouldn't be able to stand himself if he did.
That would be an interesting case study to watch.
I hope that that's what they go with this Lex Luthor. Because this Lex Luthor's not going anywhere. Nicholas Hoult got paid like $2 million to do this movie. And
that was it?
Yeah, but David Corenswet only got like $500,000. That's the lead. Oh yeah. I think David only had like one big name movie before this, and that was Twisters.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know
so
what?
the budget on this wasn't.
I hope he's got a percentage of the
I'm sure he'll get
merchandising,
more.
you know.
I'm sure he'll get more. I mean residuals and all that.
Yeah.
I laugh. Residuals.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem I had, and I was kind of laughing about this the entire time, was this Lex facially without the hair kept reminding me of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned that last night.
Did.
You know.
Yeah.
And it was.
Don't know why.
It was somewhat distracting.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it really was. Like, you know, if Tom Cruise had to battle Superman, this is what he would look like. But you know, my disdain for most Tom Cruise characters made me really enjoy the beatdown at the end. I just, you know, like, you got to have that. So so I don't know that I would have gone to see this movie if we didn't enjoy this hobby that we have here.
And someone asked us too. Someone said that they were looking forward to.
We did
I
have
will
a
find that
fan
comment.
request.
I'll flash you.
Yep.
Here. This person.
Thank you, because we did read that. And yes, I remember that. And I remember, I think I texted you, we got a request for Superman, and your response was, well, then we have to go see it. And
Yeah.
so we, you know, here we are. I will go see more.
Okay. Then I think if, because this was, it's not great, it's not bad, it's good. It's
good.
serviceable,
Yeah,
it's workable, it's a good launching point. I think if James Gunn can keep it this entertaining.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be fantastic. It doesn't need to be revolutionary. It doesn't need to be genre defining.
Okay.
If it's entertaining,
yes.
if the movies are entertaining and they've got decent writing and the characters are fun and he sticks with it, I think we'll have a great DCU.
Okay.
I think if he can if he can keep that ball rolling, we could have a really good mirror to the MCU.
It's going to be interesting to see if he can juggle the television series movie balance better than Marvel did.
Well, I think he's watched and learned from Marvel.
Okay.
And I would hope if he's going to do that he does that. It's not a requirement.
Gotcha.
I hope and I think he's commented on it being like homework. Or maybe that was Feige or Feige, whatever, however you say Kevin's last name. If he makes everything just kind of standalone with a couple standalone crossovers,
Mm-hmm.
and just makes it a universe where people can kind of come and go as they please.
Okay.
And it's not like if he doesn't try to map it completely out like Marvel and Endgame.
Where you wouldn't understand this if you hadn't seen this.
And Marvel Endgame worked because they had a plot. But if James just goes, we're just going to do, like, eventually we're going to do a Justice League movie.
Right.
Sure, let's do a Justice League movie. And we've got all these other characters that have had standalone stuff. And let's just make a movie where there's a threat that they have to unite over. And then, all right, cool. We're now the Justice League and we'll come together next time we need to. And then it's a standalone thing. And then that movie is standalone from Justice League 2.
Right.
And they're not
Gotcha.
I think if we get something a little more like that,
Okay.
where it's just a series of standalone stuff where, these characters can
That
show
all fits
up.
together.
That all fits together.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be this overarching, twisty, winding plot that all leads to an end destination. I think we could have fun with this. I think it could be fun.
Sounds good.
I think that that's the route that they should go, and then maybe they can come up with a big event down the line with Darkseid or something. Because it's always Darkseid. Anyway,
I liked it. What are your thoughts on it? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? What are your thoughts on this? We read the comments. I respond to most of them as I can.
Yep.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Leave them in the comment section down below. And if you stuck around this long and you liked what you saw, consider subscribing. It's also down below.
Sounds good. So, what's next up for Pork chops, rice, and peaches.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Back to the drawing board.
I think we owe them One Piece next.
Yeah. We'll do that update here in just a moment. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.